All right, this is Alan McNabb with Image, excuse me, with Image Building Web Design. We have a Joomla website, and we're adding a sermon without an audio file available. So all we have is a PDF, and we'll show you how to do that really quickly. If you have not seen the previous two video tutorials on how to add a sermon when there's an existing category and to add a sermon when there's not an existing category, please go and see those because what we're going to cover here will take into consideration that you already understand how to do that. Basically, the only difference between adding a sermon with and without audio is that where we have the audio, listen and the audio download this, we're just going to make that NA without any links, and then just have the PDF as normal. So really, that's the only difference. So let's go on and get started here. All right, so let's look very quickly. Baptism is the last one we added, and you see we have listen here, download MP3, sermon outline. So we're going to create a new sermon article here, and where it says, since there's no audio, where it says listen, we're going to put NA and not have a link there. Where it says download, we're going to put NA there, not have a link there. Everything else is going to be exactly the same. All right, so the name of this sermon is what causes suffering, and so I'm just going to have to create a new category called suffering, and I'm going to pause 1 second to make sure we're set up before I do that. Hang on 1 sec. All right, back with you. I was just double checking to make sure we'd already uploaded that with FileZilla. If you haven't watched that tutorial, I encourage you to do that. Before going any further, because that will show you how to get files up to the website using an FTP program, and we used FileZilla, which is a free program. All right, so now we've got to do two things. We'll go back here for a second. We've got to create a new category and menu items, just like we had to with baptism. Then we have to create a new document, but we're going to put NA for listen, NA for download. And everything else will be the same. So you get to see some of the same things again, and that will serve as good review. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Category Manager, and we're going to set up a new category under Sermon. So we'll just take an existing one. We'll take the Jesus one. And again, I'll emphasize, save as copy or you'll lose what is here. Delete the title, delete the alias. Okay, the new title is Suffering. And so we go down here, Suffering. This is a H1 tag. We've talked about that a few times. And audio lessons on suffering. That's an H4 tag. We've talked about that a few times. Meta options, suffering. I'll just say audio lessons on suffering. And this is what the search engines will read. Suffering, audio, sermons. All right. Save and close that. All right, now it's time to put in the new article. And we don't have anything in suffering because we just established it. It's blank. So we'll go to a different category under sermons. Let's say just pick one. Baptism. Pull up Bible baptism. All right, again, emphasize, save as copy or you will lose this existing article. You know it's a copy because it's got a 2 after it. Delete the title. Delete the alias. Let's put in the new title. And the new title is What Causes Suffering. All right, category, we have to change from baptism to suffering since it's a new category. All right, title, what is suffering? That's an H1 tag. Oh, see, I messed up. A couple of things I can do. To go back, I can hit Control Z. All right, Control Z, shortcut, keyboard shortcut, and that standard works on probably all programs. Except Bible baptism, all there stays the same. Okay, here's the only difference, what we've done so far. With listen, I'm going to click on listen. I'm going to click on the unlink. It's to the left of the link, unlink, click on that. You can see it's no longer colored and underlined, it's unlinked. And for the download, I'll click on unlink. I'm going to change this text here from listen to N/A. Just delete the extra letters there. And download N/A. Now delete the extra letters. Now the only thing I have to link is sermon outline, and we do that just like we did the other ones. Link, browse, sermons, suffering, MP3, the PDF of what causes suffering, insert. It is going to a new window, and title, what is suffering, and update that. For this, I don't have anything, I didn't receive any information on what to do here with this, and I will just say a study on suffering from God's Word. And again, I encourage you to have longer little introductory paragraphs here than that, because that's what the search engines will be reading, and you want to give them maybe a paragraph or two, just some good information. All right, so meta options, and we're going to say what causes suffering. A study of God's Word on suffering. And again, you can change that. I will highlight, Control C for copy. Highlight this down here, right click, paste. And I'm just going to use some of this for my keywords, suffering, and study, comma, God's Word. I'll leave it like that. All right, I'm going to save that before I do anything else. And you see that the page is reset. Very good. Now, I'm going to check the spelling. I always save before checking the spelling because sometimes a spelling checker will have a problem. And so it's good to save every once in a while. Just if something does have a problem, you can always go back to where you left off. So click the spelling, and there's no misspelled words. Okay, save and close that. All right, now this is a new category, so we have to go to the menu and set up the menu item. So we go to sermons, and again, suffering's not set up, so we'll just take one of these. I'll take priorities, use it as a template, save as copy. We see that it did save, so delete the title. It's got a 2 after it. Delete the alias, change the title name to suffering. Choose a category. Remember last time the tutorial, I forgot to do that. We'll change that now, suffering. All right, so all of this is correct. And remember, we're going to go down to page display options. And this is what will display at the top of the browser when going to the page. We'll change priorities to suffering and sermons on suffering. Alrighty, go down to meta options, and sermons on suffering, and I'll just put sermons suffering. All right. Okay, we're all good to go there. Save and close. All right. Remember last time we checked it at this point. There's a few more things still to do, so let's go on and do that. Go down to Extensions and Module Manager. Now we have to tell the Sermons menu to appear with this new category. Here it is, Sermons. Suffering's not checked because we just created it. We got to check it. Save and close. One more thing while we're in here, and that is Newest Sermons. We have to tell this to pick up this new category. And see, suffering's not highlighted. We want to add that. So again, hold down Control on your keyboard, click suffering, make sure they're all highlighted. They are. Save and close. All right, now let's clear our cache on the web server. And we go to our browser. Control Shift Delete opens up our page to clear the cache on the browser. Clear browsing data. I'm using Chrome, and exit out on that. All right, so let's check what we got here. Click on Sermons at the top. All right, we see that suffering does come in on our nav bar. We see that with the newest sermons, this is set for the latest 5 to show, and what causes suffering is there. Let's check and make sure that the outline comes up. And it does. It did come up in a new page, just like we told it to. So everything is... Let's double check. Baptism goes to baptism. Jesus to Jesus. Priorities to priorities. Suffering goes to suffering. Okay, very good. We're good to go. Alrighty, I'll let you go, and we'll catch you again soon.